Hey, my friend, welcome back to the Paradise Perspectives podcast. I'm Rizal, your island friend, your confidant, and the host of this wonderful show. Now, if this is your first time, thank you so much for tuning in. I know there are so many podcasts out there that you could have chosen from, but you chose this one. And what an episode you chose as the introduction to Paradise Perspectives. So I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This podcast is all about your empowerment, your mindset, and how to change that into the mindset that you need to create the life that you want. So I really appreciate you tuning in today. Today, I want to talk to you about dreams because right now I find myself in a hotel room in Paris. Yes, oui, bonjour de Paris. I am here in Paris and I was sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, look at me. I'm in Paris. And no, this is not the first time. And for me, I have lived in Europe before and I have visited Paris before, so it's not something that is as grand as a lot of people think it is, not for me at least, because I've been here before. But I haven't been here in this capacity, in a nice hotel. This time I'm not kind of like really trying to budget travel my way through Paris. This time I came in on one of the premier classes on the airline. I'm going back in business. I am sitting on a hotel bed in a really nice hotel in a nice part of Paris. So this is a complete different type of travel for me, more of luxurious experience, more chic experience rather than what I normally do, which is try to, stay in little Airbnbs and really small hotels where I'm not really spending as much. So for me, this is quite the experience, and it is, in a way, one of my dreams becoming a reality. And that is what this particular podcast episode is about. How do you go from dreaming to actually taking the action necessary to make that dream a reality? Let's go. So let us start out by being really honest with ourselves, okay? It is not that you don't know what you want, because you do. You really do. You may have not spent a lot of time really honing in on what it is exactly that you want, but you know what you want, right? You've had a dream. You have had maybe, if you're like me, many dreams. And those dreams are sitting on a shelf somewhere. You keep postponing it. That idea, that move, that change, that trip, that life. But instead of moving on it and making it into reality, you have been thinking, actually scratch that, you have been overthinking, you have been waiting, you have been doubting, and you have been telling yourself, and this is my favorite part, you have been telling yourself one day. Or worse yet, you have been telling yourself soon. And now you find yourself in the same exact place, just dreaming about the possibility of something better. You are not doing this because you're lazy, and you are definitely not doing this because you are not capable. You are doing this because something in you is resisting you to start. And let's call that resistance what it is. That resistance is fear. It's just fear in the room. That's what it is. And most women won't even call it fear. We call it everything else but fear. And this is what we usually call it. We call it something like, I'm not ready yet. I need more clarity. I don't know where to start. I can't do this. Oh, I'll wait until my kids are out of the house. Or I'll wait until I'm divorced. You have at least once in your life used one or more of these excuses, because that's what they are. They're excuses. Underneath all of these underneath all of these excuses, the fear of failure is there. The fear of getting it wrong. The fear of being seen. Or if you're like me, and I've just realized this not too long ago, the fear of success. Yeah, It's a thing. Because let's be honest, if I do succeed in creating that dream life that I want for myself, it means more responsibility. It means less time in my comfort zone binge watching the latest Netflix shows, right? So instead of moving, we stay in our head and we come up with all of these excuses. We have all of these fears that are keeping us stuck in one place. Okay, now here's what changed everything for me. And this is how I started building a life that I am absolutely in love with. I stopped treating my dreams like something that is just nice to have, like something that I do when my eyes are closed and I'm in la la land, something that I escape to in my mind when things in my current life are really hard. I stopped doing that and I started treating my dreams like possibilities. And not only possibilities, but something that I am personally responsible for. And in doing so, I realized something very simple. A dream without action is just a thought you keep entertaining. Let me repeat that. A dream without action is just a thought that you keep entertaining. That's it. So if you want a different life, we need to move you from just dreaming and thinking these happy, beautiful thoughts. And we need to move you into doing. And we don't need to do perfectly. And we certainly do not need to do it all at once, because that's not going to work that way, right? But what you do need to do is that doing needs to happen intentionally. So I'm going to give you a couple of steps in how I go through it whenever I have a big dream that I want to make into reality. This is what I do. Step 1, I get very, very clear on what it is that I want. Like, it's very easy to say, oh, I want to go to Paris. But what is it about Paris that I really want? So for instance, if you want to go on a trip, or if you want that promotion at a job, or if you want to move to a different destination, you want to move to the Caribbean, or you want to move to the States, or you want to move to Europe, whatever it is that it is your dream that you think is part of your dream life, then you need to get crystal clear on what it is. Don't just say, I just want to move to Paris, or I just want a trip to Paris. You need to be super clear on what exactly that dream looks like. I want to go to Paris in business class. And when I get to Paris, I want to stay in a nice hotel in a very nice area of Paris. And then I want to have a luxurious and chic experience while I'm there. And then I want to fly back in business again. That is the dream. You need to be crystal clear on what it is. But not only that, you also need to be crystal on what kind of feeling it is that you want to get out of this dream becoming a reality. For me, it is that feeling of abundance. It is that feeling of I have arrived. It is that feeling of, well done, girl, you did good for yourself. What is the feeling or the emotion that you want to create for yourself once you get this dream becoming a reality? Because let's be honest, it's not the dream exactly or the thing that you're chasing. You're not chasing more money. You are not chasing a higher salary. You are not chasing the actual move to the Caribbean. That's not what you're chasing. What you are chasing is that feeling, that emotion, that feeling of completeness, of abundance, of security, of safety, of peace. So you need to be crystal on what it is that you want. Step 2, be honest about what is holding you back. We just spoke about the fears and all of these excuses that come up for us, right? I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. It's not perfect, so I cannot start. I'm not starting that business because it's not ready. I don't have everything. I don't have the experience that I need to do it. So I need to create that experience first. Or I'm going to wait until the kids are out to school and I'm free to do whatever I want. These are all excuses. And those excuses, like we said in the beginning, those are because of fear. Fear is keeping you back. Now, fear is something super natural. It is normal. Fear is there in our brains. It's our brain's way of keeping us safe. Because if you want to get over the fear, that means you need to step into something uncomfortable. I have said this so many times in other episodes, and I cannot repeat this enough. Your brain's main function is to keep you safe, and dreams mean that you need to move into parts that you are completely unknown in. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. You are moving from things that you know into the unknown, and the unknown is scary. So your brain is going to give you all sorts of evidence while you shouldn't be doing this. So step 2 is be honest about what that fear really is. Name that puppy. That's what I always say. Name that puppy. Name that fear. What is that fear that is keeping you back? Once you know what that fear is, you can start to understand it, and then all of a sudden it is not as scary as it is, as you think it is. All right, moving on to step number 3. Step number 3 is stop trying to leap and start taking smaller actions. You see, here's the thing. I could have sat there when I was dreaming about this Paris trip. I could have sat there and just look at the outcome, which is me sitting in this very hotel room, and meanwhile my bank account is maybe $500, which is definitely not enough for the experience that I wanted in dear old Paris. How am I going to start with this? The first thing is I need to start small, because if you're only focusing on the big outcome, you won't get there. It will be so far from where you are at this moment that it becomes something that you feel you can never get to. You have to take small little steps. Small action. That's what you need to do. Because if you are standing at the foot of that big mountain and you're looking up, it seems like an impossible task to get to the summit of this mountain, doesn't it? But if you start chipping away at it and you start making it into, you just get to the base, to base 1. That's how the climbers do it, right? Whenever they're going up to Mount Everest, they climb for a day until they get to this part, to the base, and then they go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until they get to the top. And that's what you're going to do as well. You are going to take this big dream and you're going to break it down in simple goals. You're going to make smaller bite-sized goals, and then you can take the smaller actions to get there. So let's take another example of one of my big dreams for this year, and that is to write a book. I used to say, I will someday write a book. First thing that I did was I scratched that someday, because I will write this book. That is number one thing that I did. I will write this book. I am writing this book. All right. Then one of the smaller steps that I took was, because I have no idea how to write a book. So I had to really start by understanding what it is to write a book, what all it entails. Then I broke it down in small little bite-sized pieces, and I started with one line. Just one line. Type in one line. That's all you need to do. You need to start small. Then next time I'll write a chapter, and then I'll write another chapter and another, and then I'll write the ending, and I'll go back to the middle part, and then before I know it, I will have this book completely done. So don't focus on the outcome. Focus on what you can do right now that is feasible. Break it down in smaller goals and then take the necessary smaller action. And step number 4, and this is the last one for today, is to create a simple plan that you can actually follow. Like I said, break it down in bite-sized pieces. But one thing that I think is super important when you're creating this plan is that you actually also work on your habits. Because the habits that you have right now are keeping you in this position where you are right now, in this life that you're living right now. And the person who has the life that you want has complete different habits. That version of you that has these dreams realized has a whole different list of habits. For instance, if your habit right now is getting up in the morning and first thing you do is you grab your phone and start scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, and you start comparing yourself to others, and you start feeling shitty about yourself. Next thing you know, you're late for work, so you jump in the shower, you rush, drink a cup of coffee, get in your car, drive to work, to this job that you don't really like, but you have to do because that's your only income. Meanwhile, you are not creating the habits that are going to sustain that version of you that is willing to work towards realizing that dream. If anything, I think this number 4, this step 4, is the most important, crucial part of all. You need to have a plan, a simple plan, and that plan needs to include new habits. Habits that are going to break you out of the pattern that you are in now that is keeping you where you are. You need to form new habits, and these habits are going to have in them also things that you can do pretty much every day or every week. I prefer every day, that you can do, which is working towards that dream that you want to realize or that goal that you want to achieve. You do not need another year to think about how you're going to get to where you want to get. You do not need another sign. You do not need to be 100% ready. What you need to do is you need to just start. You need to take action. You need to take those action steps, even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if you are not prepared, and even if you are scared. Because the longer you wait, and you know this because you have done this so many times before, right? The longer you wait, the more you convince yourself that you cannot do it. Now, if you have been looking for more of this type of content, or you want to keep listening to this on repeat, I have designed something super simple and super fun to do. I have come up with the Dream to Action Starter Kit. It is 7 days. That's all you need, 7 days. And yeah, I'm here trying to sell you a program. Yes, absolutely. I'm completely clear on that. That's what I'm doing. But what I have done is I have made this program, and I don't even want to call it a program. It's a fun way to keep you on track towards your dreams. That's what it is. What it's going to do is it's going to get you on your way to taking the necessary action to make that dream into a reality. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I need you to really hear me on, you are worth that dream. That dream and that desire, that wish, those goals, they are in your mind, not because of some fantasy that you have created. They are there because they're yours. That dream is yours. That desire is yours. And when you feel these desires and these wishes, that means that you're supposed to have them. You're supposed to have that dream becoming a reality. Okay? You are worth it and you deserve it. All right, that is everything I got for you for this week. I am about to go back to my last day, enjoying the last day I have here in beautiful Paris, and maybe do some shopping. I don't know, something crazy like that, because I deserve it. And if I deserve this trip, honey, you deserve that dream. All right, my name is Rizal. Thank you for listening to Paradise Perspectives. I hope you tune in again next week, because I'll be back with hopefully another interesting conversation. And if there is anything that you have on your mind that you're like, Rizal, you need to talk about this, then please let me know. All you need to do is send me an email. You can send it to hello@thetravelingislandgirl.com. Everything that I spoke about today is going to be in the show notes, including, of course, the link to the Dream to Action Starter Kit. If you want to get started today, which I really urge you to do not delay on your dreams anymore, honey, because you deserve to have them. All right. I love you. If nobody has said that to you before, and I know we don't know each other, but I don't care. I really have mad love for you, because I know that you are the type of woman that is going to start taking action today. See you next week.